Welcome back to Trading Candlesticks. Today we are going to cover what's been going on for the last 2.5 days. The chart that's up now is the one that you've probably already seen in the last video. We'll get to the next chart here shortly, and then we will probably do some live trading and also just kind of discuss general strategy stuff and what's been happening. So glad you're here. Glad you could join me. Again, my name's Brian. I'm learning to be a day trader. So this is just kind of a record of my learning, and hopefully it helps you. And if you're interested, that's great. Just click subscribe, give a thumbs up to the video, make a comment if you've got questions. Primarily what I'm doing now is I'm trading on pocket options. So many of you might be familiar with this because that's what all my videos have so far been on. But I will share kind of the next step in this journey shortly. So with that, let's kind of get into it. So this was day 6 and day 7. And if you remember right here from this, kind of from the beginning of this day, this was 5 positive and then basically screw around and find out. And it's exactly what I did. Just lost $100, $5 at a time, which is even worse. And then kind of got focused, got back on the right track. And then this was just normal kind of variance for all these ups. This is kind of down. So kind of ended that set of days down a little bit. I had gotten the account back to over 900, which was I put 600 in, got a $300 bonus, and I got the account literally to like $900 and like 32 cents after kind of the first week of learning, and then basically dumped a bunch back. So unfortunately, that's kind of what happened. And I was going to increase my normal bet size to 1% of the account balance just to kind of get some bigger movement. Once I kind of felt like I had a positive strategy that was working well, and I do feel I have that, but every time I've deviated from that, I start losing. So I think I've mostly learned that lesson. I'm sure I'll still experiment with different strategies, but this is the last 2.5 days. And basically I went back and I actually studied all of my trades that were based on the one strategy of kind of a 2-minute timer, waiting for the RSI to hit, waiting for the stochastic oscillator lines to cross, which we'll get to. But pretty much if I combine just those trades, I would be up substantially more. So that strategy is clearly working for me. And there's a little bit of kind of just general intuition on what the chart looks like. If it's just super trending up, obviously I'm going to just kind of ignore that, or super trending down. But this is kind of the results from the last 2.5 days. A little bit of chop, but we got a nice upswing. We came back down a little bit, and we've had a nice upswing to end the day. And happily, the account is the highest it's ever been right now, which is awesome. I don't remember exactly what that is, like $927 or something like that. So that's kind of the strategy that I'm employing. Kind of the other piece of, and that was really all I did, was I just focused on that strategy. And even these trades that are right here at the end were actually done on my phone, where all I can actually see is the Bollinger Bands, because for some reason on the phone app, they don't actually have the Keltner channels, probably because of computing power, something like that. I'm not sure. It seems like it should not be that difficult, but the indicator is not listed, so I can't add it on my phone. So my oldest son got his wisdom teeth out today. So while I was waiting for him, the first 2 trades down here were done there, and then the next 5 were done there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then I placed one right before lunch. And then lunch showed up, so I took a break to eat, and now I'm doing this video for you guys. So that's kind of what's been going on. Let's kind of just get rid of that and switch over to pocket option. So indeed, the account is at 927.02. I know you can't see that, but it definitely is. And what's pretty cool is that I've also got my Trade-of-8 account open and funded. And I am learning tons and tons of stuff so that I can start trading futures, and that will be pretty awesome. So that is coming on this channel soon. I need to spend some time and do some more learning. But for today, what we're going to do is hop in here and see if we can't find some quick trades. I'll kind of go exactly what I do when I open this up. I kind of come over here. So I've only really been trading currencies and occasionally stocks. So I will just favorite all of the ones that are kind of above 80% and try to get rid of the ones that are far below. So it looks like we're good there. And then the stocks, I don't really have any of the stocks on right now, just because a lot of the stocks have much different tendencies than the currencies. They tend to be up, 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 and I think it would really require a different type of strategy. I have placed some trades with stocks, but we're going to just kind of ignore them for today. So you can see all my favorites up here at the top with the percentages right next to them. So what I typically do is I just start, and I kind of click across, and what I'm looking for down here, we'll just open these up a little further. And in fact, I'm going to get rid of Vortex. Here's our RSI, and here's our stochastic oscillator. And you'll notice that I turned my inner Keltner channel band. This one I turned off, and I'm just kind of going with the Bollinger Band at a 20 period, because that's what I use on my phone. I seem to be pretty successful on my phone, so I thought, well, let's stick that in here today and try it out. And basically on the phone, when that gets, when these candles get outside the Bollinger Band, that tends to be when I start paying attention. So this one right now, obviously, is coming back down, but nothing super interesting just yet. If this continues to drop, it definitely becomes a potential up, and it looks like it may do that. So what I tend to do here, if we just want to stop and watch this, I do look like we're kind of at a peak here, it looks like. And this blue bar is the current level. I just kind of scroll back to see. Looks like the current level, and this was 5 this morning. There was definitely some, kind of resistance right there. So it looks like it's, it did push through that for a bit right here, which is nice. But we can see it's already kind of a low, long wick for this candle currently. So it's already kind of retreating back some of what it's been pressing down. So hopefully it will keep pressing down because that'll give us a good opportunity. This should be percent. So there we're at 1%. So you can tell the account is actually at $9.27 times 100. So this, could have been a trade, but this really wasn't low enough. And these are not below our 20%. So, sometimes it looks like, oh yeah, you totally should trade that up, but we'll just kind of leave that one for now and come back to it. Graphs like this, I have a much harder time trading. I don't mind in here as much because it seems fairly consistent, but it's definitely trending up. So it's really hard to want to gamble, if you will, that it's going to just suddenly come way down. So this is actually a pretty good point because, we've got some resistance here, or some support, I suppose you would, call it on the bottom side. But we've got some, support for this to not really go below here. And we are kind of climbing. So this actually might be one where we're not quite down here on this trade, but it actually looks pretty decent, especially at like a 3-minute window. We're just going to kind of sit and watch and see what actually takes place. If that kind of pushes back down again, I'm probably in, and now it's probably way too late. And that is part of this, right? Is having patience. So if it does slam back down there, we will definitely jump in. We'll be at 3 minutes, not 2. I've been extending my timer just a little longer on some of these trades. So I do like that. And I think it's going to push lower based on what's going on. And I'm always willing to be wrong. So I clearly should have taken my own advice and just gotten in right here. Now it probably legitimately will be too late. You can see it's strong up here, and this is, I doubt this comes back down for very long. It's probably going to push higher and higher. So, part of that is hard, is like, how hard is this going to push back up? We do see it starts up, it comes back down, it starts up, it comes back down. So there's one to keep an eye on. Definitely wish I would have just clicked the button here. Would have been probably an easy win. Let's just really quick check this one, see what it's doing. So we did get near the bottom of the Bollinger Band, and we are nearing it again. So there's also a bunch of support right here. And you can see all the long wicks on these candles, right? So it's really a lot of movement with inside the minute. And then, we're getting kind of the drop now. So this one was pretty close to being an up. We're not quite below the 20 down here, and our RSI is not quite where we want it to be. So we're going to keep going. This one we definitely would probably be winning because that would be 2 minutes in. Should have just simply clicked. And, if this RSI would have been lower, it would have been a really easy decision. All right. Here's one that's outside the Bollinger Band. As you can tell, this one is hard because we kind of have a downtrend for the day. So, like, if I get in here and I think it's going back up, are we really going to see, this? And that's what makes these downtrending stocks, betting that they're going to go back up, makes it a bit harder. So I'm going to come back to that one as well. We're going to click through here and see if there's anything really close to kind of super high or super low RSI. So here we've got one that is definitely well outside. And what I've been seeing is when we get well outside the second Keltner channel and we get outside the Bollinger Bands, things have a tendency to shoot up. This one, however, is sitting at the oversold. And the last time it did that was right here. And look what happened. Oh, yeah. Or sorry, overbought. I said oversold. On the bottom side of this, definitely seems like that peak and it shoots up. This one is much harder for me to want to trade. And this is exactly why, is like this thing could just shoot up again. And everyone here seems like they're betting down, except this one person right here who just put in a bet for higher. And so, from this perspective, this does look easy. But when you look at this graph and you go, wow, if I put a down bet in here, I'm just never winning for a long time. And then you're like, well, what about here? And what about here? And what about here? And you end up just chasing the trade, which is why I'm a big proponent of just being patient. And I definitely sit and watch and I'm like, just like you just saw, I wish I could have simply placed that trade when I first set it, but I didn't. So this one I'm probably a tiny bit late for. It looks like it is outside the Bollinger Bands and the second Keltner channel, but it is not very high outside there. And we did peak above. When we peaked back here, we did have a down. That was pretty nice. So that's going to just jam back up here for a minute, it looks like. We're going to just watch this and be a little patient, see what happens. This one has a tendency to get outside the Bollinger Bands and run. So, if only I could set stop losses on those and targets instead of having to just be a one bet binary yes or no. Yeah, I don't currently like that one. I'm sure some people are like, that's perfect. You should nail it. So let's look at this one. We're outside the Bollinger Band again, which this stock has been doing, or this currency has been doing a lot, especially on the upside. So that makes this one very difficult, again, to want to get into. Like, this is such a stellar RSI. It's 74. So I tend to come back here and I'm like, well, we got up to 83 before we actually hit the down. So, is this a down? It very well could be, but it's not one that looks attractive to me in order to preserve kind of my capital and, not make bad trades just because I'm trying to trade so I can, get stuff on the books. So here's an RSI that looks pretty low. This one actually looks pretty good. I wish I would have been here a couple seconds ago. Although this is also outside the RSI, it's outside the it's outside the Keltner, it's outside the Bollinger Bands. It is coming back up a little, but you can see that same thing happens here a couple times, and we still run down. So again, very difficult to wanna put a big bet on there. So let's come back to the beginning. So here we are approaching the right RSI. When we get down here on this particular asset, we definitely hit. So if this was just a couple points lower, it's probably a good hit. Although this probably looks really strong to move back up as well. So this one is a tough one. Was this the peak of the day? And now we're heading down. We're outside those Bollinger Bands. Always a little bit skeptical. I do think the interface here could be, slightly better. and not have to make me click through. If I put it on multiple charts, I can only see those four, and then I have to use the drop down to actually switch. I do probably need to come in here and check my currency, so we're still okay. So this one definitely is getting close. I think if we're still inside that second Keltner channel. I think if we actually get this and we kind of stay in that Keltner channel, this is definitely a potential. Although you can see here, this says, hey, we think based on the indicators that we have, it's going to continue down. And right now they're correct, and now we're going to be outside that Keltner channel. So that is unfortunate. And sometimes it's like this. It's just hard to find, a trade that's going to go your way. So this one is super interesting. I'm probably going to end up sticking a trade in on this one. I might make it just a bit longer, but I do kind of like this. We're going to kind of sit and watch this one. Oh, what do we got here? Approaching it here as well. When we peak here, we had it down. When we were way up to 81, we had it down. We're still inside the channel, though. Let's come back over here. Got some extra kind of resistance right there. And it was here as well. So kind of in that range that we're fairly close to. So I think this might push up a little bit more and then come back down. I'd expect it maybe to push to about 1.35927. And if we get close to that, we are going to take, we're going to take our down there. I wish I would have gotten it kind of at that top, but we got 5 minutes on that down. That's where I wanted to take it. So it's going to blow right through that, but we got 5 minutes. We'll see what happens. We may actually come back and double up on this one, but who knows? All right, next one. So here we're way up. Not sure what's going on this one, but that looks like it's just well outside those channels and not something I'm going to mess with. This one, a little bit more interesting. It's sitting inside and going back and forth, back and forth. We're kind of approaching up here. We should change our time back down. Go to 3 minutes. We are at what appears to be the peak for right now. And then the question is going to be, how far outside that Keltner channel are we going to get? Just a real quick check on this one. So we are coming back down. I do feel like I probably should have watched this and then doubled up at the top, but now it's retracting. We'll see what happens. So this is getting mighty close. These are getting close to being above 80. This is being close to 70. This one is actually peaked above. Yeah, should have been here a little bit ago, I guess. There we go, shooting back up. See what other kind of support or resistance we have. There's some. Yeah, that's kind of at the peak of the day, it looks like. Definitely had problems getting up here. I kind of feel like if we go out to 5 minutes, we're going to stick a lower in here, right about there. We'll see what happens. What's next? Come over here. It looks like we missed the bottom here, right there. Could have gotten in. Let's come back over. You can see this one just turned green, which means it came back down. So good thing we put it in for 5 minutes. You can see it fluctuating back and forth and back and forth. So that's great. Hopefully it'll get back down there. It still has a couple minutes left on it. This one, what do we have? We definitely have a little bit of, right here we've got some, it's probably not a good trade right there. So this one, we just missed the peak at the bottom or the valley, and now we're probably going to come back up. I'm just curious to click on this and see. So we missed it. Had we doubled up here, we would have probably been all right, but can't win them all. And you can see we're well outside the Keltner channel, so there's no chance I'm messing around and hitting that a couple more times with double ups or anything like that. That one's down. And it's still got a minute plus left on it, so hopefully it'll just slide back down. Looks like our other one is also no longer going to be profitable. It's unfortunate, but has a lot of time left on it too. This one looks like it peaked. I am gonna. That is so close. Our lines did cross. We're above. I do like that one. See how this one's looking. So yeah, we did continue to go up here, and unless this really plows down in the next 30 seconds, we're probably not going to win this one. So, fingers crossed, but probably not happening. What do we have here? Not much. I still feel like this is going to just skyrocket here in a few minutes. So I think this is definitely the annoying part of binary options and trying to trade multiple assets, is that it's just kind of constant clicking. So yeah, so we did end up losing that trade. We missed by 17 points. If you want to see the graph, we literally missed one of the valleys by a couple seconds. So that's unfortunate, but it happens. All right, what's up next here? Probably just go for another 5 or 10 minutes. So this is definitely interesting. This looks like a definite downer in 5 minutes. It's the one that we just traded. So but it's you can tell we've hit the peak. We came down. We got a double top right here. Had a double top here, a double top here. Kind of see what this next 1 minute candle does. This definitely looks very strong for an up as well. We're currently maybe double topping this one. So last time, what did we do? We almost had a double top, then we had a double top, then we had a higher double top, then we peaked and valleyed. Not that that's any indication, but we are crossing lines. Yeah, I think we just missed our trade that first time. That really kind of stinks. So this one I'm going to put out at 4, and we're going to get in. This one, we're going to consistently just sit here and watch it while we check on some other stuff like this. So we're getting close. This looks like it's pretty good. Still inside those Keltner channels, which we definitely like. That's still just sitting tight. And this is about to get outside that Keltner channel, and we'll see. So yeah, we did not win the other trade either, which that is unfortunate. Looks like we missed that one by a lot. So it happens. This one, I kind of feel like I just want to give this a longer period of time in case it goes down some more. This is on a downtrend for the day. It just doesn't look like it right here. Yeah, this could be a long down. I think that's going to be an ignore. So yeah, so it looks like we got a double top. We got another double top. Double top, double top, double top. So I definitely feel like we're coming down here. Probably time to get in. I just don't know how long of a time period I want to stick on this. 5 is probably good. We're going to get in before it starts dropping like rocks. So this one also right outside the Keltner channel. So we did win the next one that we put in. It was the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen. This one is probably, yeah, I think 5 minutes and a lower on this is going to be good as well. All right. This one is shooting up like a rock, which is great because we're kind of on a little upswing, and then we can see the trend right here is slightly down. And we got a big drop, and now we're getting a big jump. You can see our other ones are not in the green right now. And that's part of it. I mean, you saw the streaks on my graph of, hey, you know, there's a lot of ups, so you're going to have some downs. So that is to be expected. This one just worries me because of getting outside the Keltner channel and continuing the downtrend. Otherwise, this one is starting to look really good. Probably in the 4-minute window. I'll catch you here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, part of this is just watching to see exactly how this is going to behave kind of outside that channel. Is it going to continue large down pushes? Is it going to start to retract? We are going to get our lines probably crossing here in the next channel or in the next candle. And here we come back up. So, you know, this was a probably good entry point, which we did not choose to do. So if we take a look at this kind of peaked up here. We saw a bunch of flat, had a really hard time pushing past about this level. So that is also super interesting. We just would like this to be quite a bit higher based on what happened earlier and show that it's overbought. So what else? This one, so we're kind of looking at this one going up. This one looks like it pushed back down a little bit until I said that, and now it's going to, of course, shoot straight up, which is perfect. And there's the push down. So you can see we won this trade, so that one is done. The other two we are not in the green on yet. I do like that this is trending down for the day right now. I would like to see that be higher still. Curious where we're at and how far. So we're not very far away. We're definitely farther away on this one. It's still just, it's really trying at this level. Which one is the double up? This one? Oh, we only have 1:38. Yeah, that's going to probably be tough. I just don't see it breaking through this level, though, at all. Like, that's probably the highest it's going to peak. It's right there at the top of that candle. So I could double up. I probably should have doubled up at the top of that candle because there's just no way it's going to get through that. I'm really hoping just to see it jam down, but now I can't really double up. It's a little too low for what the time is remaining. This other one, it's trying to push down. We'll see if we get there. All right, this one is the one we were looking at. Probably got a couple minutes left here. So we just hit this. So I do like this as a higher. Probably the 3-minute range. Because when we kind of peaked below before, 1, 2, yeah, maybe a little longer on that. I'm gonna hit this really quick. Oh, we're so close. It's got 15 seconds to push down below. We're definitely not gonna hit that one. All right, here's this one. The problem is it's slightly getting outside the Keltner channel again, getting way outside the Keltner channel. So we did end up hitting this trade right here, which is great. We're definitely not probably, well, we got 23 seconds for it. Should we watch? I usually just don't watch because It's like, what's the point? I can't cheer for it. It's not like a, crowd noise is going to help. But yeah, we would love to see a hard push down in the next 10 seconds and hold. We got 6 seconds left on the trade. Oh, there it goes. 3, 2, push down. 1, we got it. So that's why I don't watch. It's fun to watch, I suppose, but that is how close it is. So if I go back and look at those last 2 trades, we hit one by 11 points. We hit the other one by 6 points. The previous one we hit by plus 46 points, which is great. The previous one we won by 56 points. And then we lost by 83 points. We lost by 17 points. We won by 262 points. And then earlier in the day, I won one by 3 points, 86 points, and 5 points. I've definitely actually had them be exactly the same price, which is you just get your money back, which is great. And I've also had them be off by 1 point. And so as an example of what a point is, so on this, you can see this is 0.6270 is what that says. This is 0.62600. That point is 1. I've had it be off by 1/10,000th. So it's pretty crazy. So actually, is that 100,000th? Tens, hundreds, thousands. Yeah, so 100,000th, which is just insane. It's very, very close. So I think that will probably wrap up the stream. I'll probably trade a bit more and then call it an afternoon for now. I am excited to get the Tradovate stuff up and running, and as well as I may try to find an account where I can trade this as well, slightly differently than binarily. Well, so good recap. In the time we were here, we ended up we're up to $940, almost $941. You can see that. Based on the 1%, shows the trade is $9.41. So we've upped our trades. We've got our Tradovate set up, and our account balance is now well above the $900. So that's great. And we still need to turn over we're 20% of the way through earning that $300 bonus. So I still need to plan, lots of trades to actually get that bonus if I want to keep it. But that's it for trading candlesticks today. Let me know how you liked the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you would like. I would definitely appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.